In the quiet corners of our world, there are stories that linger in the mist, whispered from one generation to the next. These tales often begin in places where the line between the ordinary and the extraordinary is thin, where shadows seem to move on their own, and the night air carries secrets. Some stories blur the line between folklore and reality, weaving together fear, fascination, and the unknown. They become part of the landscape, shaping the identity of the people who live there. In the small town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, a shadow fell in the mid-1960s, a shadow with wings that would forever change the town's identity. The people here would soon find themselves at the center of a mystery that would echo through the decades. This was the beginning of the legend of the Mothman, a creature that would haunt the dreams of locals and draw the curious from far and wide. Before the sightings, Point Pleasant was a typical Appalachian town, its history stretching back to the American Revolution. Life moved at a gentle pace, with families rooted in the land and traditions passed down through generations. Just outside town lay the TNT area, an abandoned WE2 munitions site, shrouded in local legend. Overgrown and forgotten, it was a place where children dared each other to explore, and adults spoke of strange happenings in hushed tones. It was here, in this eerie landscape of crumbling concrete and tangled brush, that something extraordinary would unfold. Something that would leave a permanent mark on the town's collective memory. The 1960s were a time of uncertainty, with the world looking to the stars and fearing the unknown. The Cold War loomed large, and people wondered what secrets the universe might hold, both above and here on Earth. In this environment of anxiety and wonder, the story of the Mothman took root, capturing imaginations far beyond West Virginia. Newspapers reported strange sightings, and rumors spread like wildfire, drawing attention from across the country. The creature was described as otherworldly with glowing red eyes, and a presence that unsettled all who saw it. Witnesses spoke of a sense of dread, as if they had glimpsed something not meant for human eyes. The Mothman legend is not just about a monster, it's about a town, a tragedy, and our search for meaning in the unexplained. It's a story of fear, hope, and the enduring power of mystery to shape our lives and our communities. The legend began on a cool November night in 1966, when the air in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, was thick with fog and anticipation. The town was quiet, the kind of silence that makes every sound seem louder, every shadow deeper. Two young couples, the Scarberrys and the Mallets, were driving through the abandoned TNT area, a maze of old munitions bunkers and overgrown roads, when their headlights suddenly caught a towering, man-bird figure standing in the darkness. Its eyes glowed an unnatural, piercing red, reflecting the fear that instantly gripped everyone in the car. Terrified, they slammed on the gas, desperate to escape. But as they sped down the winding road, the creature unfurled its massive, leathery wings and took flight, pursuing their car with impossible speed. No matter how fast they drove, the winged figure kept pace, gliding effortlessly above and behind them, its eyes never leaving the vehicle. The witnesses later described a chilling, high-pitched screech that echoed through the night as the creature followed them all the way to the city limits. The sound was unlike anything they'd ever heard, part animal, part mechanical, and wholly terrifying. Shaken and pale, the couples rushed straight to the sheriff's office, their voices trembling as they recounted the night's events. The officers listened intently, noting the genuine fear in their eyes and the consistency of their story. Soon, word spread through the small town, and more sightings began to emerge. Residents reported glimpses of the same winged figure, its red eyes peering from the edge of the woods, or its shadow soaring silently over rooftops in the dead of night. Newspapers picked up the story, and radio stations buzzed with urgent bulletins. The town was gripped by a mix of fear and fascination as neighbors gathered to share their own eerie encounters and theories. One man, Newell Partridge, claimed his television went haywire and his loyal dog vanished after he saw two glowing red circles staring at him from inside his barn. The strange events left him shaken, and his story only fueled the growing sense of unease. The descriptions were eerily consistent: a large winged humanoid, standing nearly 7 feet tall, with hypnotic, burning red eyes that seemed to see straight through you. Dozens of credible witnesses, firefighters, factory workers, families came forward, each adding new details, but always echoing the same chilling image. Their testimonies gave the story weight, and soon, the legend took on a life of its own. The creature seemed drawn to the TNT area, haunting the night skies above the abandoned plant and the tangled woods that surrounded it. Locals began to avoid the area after dark, wary of what might be lurking in the shadows. The legend was just beginning, and the first whispers of wings would soon become a chorus of fear and fascination that echoed far beyond Point Pleasant. As reports of the strange sightings flooded in from all corners of Point Pleasant, a sense of unease settled over the town. People whispered about the mysterious figure in hushed tones, and the air was thick with speculation and fear. The local press, always eager for a story that could grip the community, took notice almost immediately. Journalists scrambled to gather eyewitness accounts, and soon, the story was impossible to ignore. On November 16, 1966, the Point Pleasant Register ran a headline that would change everything. Couple see man-sized bird, creature something. The words leapt off the page, capturing the confusion and awe of those who had seen the entity. The story quickly spread beyond the borders of the small town, carried by word of mouth and the growing curiosity of neighboring communities. The creature needed a name, something that would stick in people's minds and capture the strangeness of the events. Inspired by the popular Batman TV series of the era, a quick-thinking copy editor dubbed the mysterious figure Mothman. The name was catchy, evocative, and instantly memorable. It stuck, and soon everyone was talking about Mothman. The media frenzy that followed brought reporters, photographers, and thrill-seekers from far and wide to Point Pleasant. The once quiet TNT area became a nightly spectacle, buzzing with flashbulbs and the hum of excited voices. Some people tried to cash in with hoaxes, but despite the noise and the fakes, the core sightings remained credible and consistent, reported by people with nothing to gain. The name Mothman gave the creature a mythic quality, transforming it from a fleeting local curiosity into a symbol of mystery, fear, and transformation. It was no longer just a story, it was a legend in the making. Moths are drawn to light, often seen as omens or harbingers of change, qualities that now became inseparable from the legend of Mothman. The symbolism deepened the mystery, inviting endless speculation. The Mothman became more than a strange animal. It was a character in a developing drama, a presence that haunted the dreams and conversations of an entire region. The story was now woven into the fabric of American folklore, destined to be retold for generations, each retelling adding new layers of intrigue and wonder. The legend had taken flight, soaring into the collective imagination and ensuring that the name Mothman would never be forgotten. For 13 months, Mothman sightings continued, fueling anxiety in Point Pleasant. Then, on December 15, 1967, tragedy struck. The Silver Bridge collapsed during rush hour, plunging dozens of cars into the Ohio River and killing 46 people. Investigators blamed a tiny stress crack, but locals saw a chilling connection. Rumors spread that Mothman had been seen near the bridge before the disaster. Some believed the creature was a harbinger of doom, others a warning. The legend transformed. Mothman was now an omen, forever linked to the community's deepest trauma. The bridge collapse gave the story a tragic climax, cementing its place in local and national memory. Whether warning or curse, the Mothman became a symbol of loss and mystery. The shadow over Point Pleasant had become legend. The Mothman story might have faded, but writers and investigators kept it alive. Gray Barker's 1970 book first linked the sightings to the tragedy. John Keel's delved deeper, connecting the creature to UFOs, men in black, and a web of paranormal events. Keel's work became a cult classic, and the 2002 film adaptation introduced the legend to a new generation. Through books and film, the Mothman became a global myth, its eerie presence echoing far beyond West Virginia. Storytellers ensured the legend would never die. As the legend grew, skeptics searched for rational explanations. Biologist Dr. Robert L. Smith suggested the sightings were misidentified sandhill cranes, large birds with red markings around their eyes. Others pointed to large owls whose eyes can appear to glow red in headlights. Some speculated the TNT area's pollution caused mutations, but there's no evidence for this. Hoaxes and exaggerations played a role, but couldn't explain the sheer number of terrified witnesses. The truth likely lies in a mix of misidentifications, local folklore, and the psychological impact of tragedy. The Mothman legend endures because it resists easy answers. It's a story shaped by fear, uncertainty, and the human need to explain the unexplainable. The shadow in the night remains, inviting endless speculation. The search for truth continues. In time, Point Pleasant transformed its dark legend into a source of pride. The 12-foot-tall Mothman statue, unveiled in 2003, stands as a symbol of resilience and identity. The Mothman Museum, founded in 2005, houses artifacts, police reports, and film props, drawing visitors from around the world. The annual Mothman Festival celebrates the legend with speakers, tours, and music, attracting thousands. What was once a source of fear is now a thriving tourism industry. The town reclaimed its narrative, turning a haunting story into a celebration. Point Pleasant embraced its monster and found new life. The Mothman legend didn't end in 1967. Sightings of similar winged creatures with glowing red eyes have been reported worldwide, often near disasters. In Chicago, starting in 2017, dozens claim to see a bat-like humanoid near Lake Michigan, sparking renewed fascination. The Mothman has soared into video games, TV, podcasts, and card games, reaching new generations. Its ambiguity, monster, omen, or something else, keeps it alive in popular culture. The legend adapts, evolving with each retelling. The Mothman remains a persistent shadow in our collective imagination. Why does the Mothman story endure after half a century? Its foundation in real events and credible witnesses gives it a haunting plausibility. The link to the Silver Bridge tragedy elevates it from monster tale to modern myth, offering meaning in chaos. The Mothman blends cryptozoology, UFO lore, and ghost story, appealing to many beliefs. Its mystery is its strength. No single explanation fits. The legend reminds us that the unknown still lurks at the edge of our vision. The image of a winged figure with red eyes is primal, tapping into deep fears and wonder. The Mothman is more than a monster. It's a reflection of our need to understand the inexplicable. As long as we seek answers in the shadows, the legend will live on. The red eyes of the Mothman will continue to haunt and fascinate for generations.